The most anticlimactic opening of any show. 'Cause the music demonetizes my channel, and therefore the way we have it is the clapping intro. It's just a clapping intro. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Sunday. What do we do on Sundays, y'all? We talk about television, my favorite thing to talk about. Drink every time I tell everybody that I watch 120 shows a year. You will be hammered by the time we're done with every episode. Okay, so a lot to talk about today. We're going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 4 of The Last of Us, which just dropped at 6 o'clock. So if you're watching live, you just finished it. We're not doing it yet, though, so no spoilers in the chat, guys. I'm going to be talking about the show Four Seasons. That's the new Steve Carell, Tina Fey show that is on Netflix. The You finale, because I binged the last week. I told you guys I had started watching the final season of You. I finished it. Andor, episodes 4, 5, and 6. Last week we talked 1, 2, and 3. This week we'll talk 4, 5, and 6. Hacks and whatever TV shows you guys want to talk about. Plus, what should I be watching? Other random things I watched. All of that and more on the show today. Full disclosure, we usually end up spending the vast majority of the time talking about The Last of Us because this is a Sunday show and it just happens to be the show that the most stuff happens on per week. So that. Few things that I want to tell you guys off top. Number one, may the 4th be with you always. Butchered that. May the 4th be with you always. Happy May 4th. Happy Star Wars Day. Hope you guys did something Jedi worthy today. Number 2, I made a decision today to do something that usually I make a decision about months in advance, but I am making a decision 6 days in advance. So it puts me a little bit behind. I am doing the National Brain Tumor Society 5K this weekend. It is on Saturday. I don't have a single person who's doing it with me as of this moment. So I don't know if I'm going to have some friends who show up. Last year, I had amazing friends who came, but I gave them months' notice. It's very difficult to get people, especially now that everybody is husbands and wives and kids, to come to things. So absolutely no worries to any of my friends who can't make it. But I come solo or otherwise, I'm going to be doing the National Brain Tumor Society 5K, which means that I am fundraising now. Last year, I was the number 1 individual fundraiser, and my team was the number 2 team. So I feel very proud of that. Do I think we're going to do that again this year with only 6 days notice? No, I do not. Do I want to try to raise as much money as possible for the National Brain Tumor Society? Yes, I do. So if you go to my Instagram, or maybe one of my mods can put a link in here. It's on my Instagram right now. Or if you supported me last time, you got an email about it. I know that RQMDSMD already sent in support. Rihanna already sent in support. So thank you to those of you guys who are already supporting. The cause means a lot to me. For those of you guys who do not know, I lost my mom to brain cancer. She's not the only person that I have lost to brain cancer, though. A dear friend of mine I lost as well to brain cancer. My aunt currently has brain cancer. And my boss and mentor of forever also has had brain tumors. So the National Brain Tumor Society is a big deal to me. I also was put on like what is considered their junior board and am working on doing absolutely everything I can to keep on fighting until there is a cure, because one day there will be. And the thing that is preventing us from getting there is finances. The more money that we make, the quicker research can go. The quicker research can go, the quicker there will be a cure. The quicker there's a cure, the quicker we don't lose people to brain cancer or brain tumors anymore. So anyway, if you have the extra finances to support, I was hesitant to do it this year for a few reasons. Number 1, because it's on Mother's Day weekend, which is understandably a very challenging weekend for me. Some years I do better than others, but sometimes I just get hit like a ton of bricks. Then all of a sudden I was kind of sitting there thinking about it today, and I'm like, am I going to sit on my couch and mourn those that we've lost, or am I going to fight and try to prevent losing anybody else? And it was just a very clear answer. So that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend. The other reason I had thought about not doing it is because I did a huge fundraiser for the LA fires this year. And I raised about $10,000 with Jess Lucero for the LA fires this year. And so tapping the same people asking for support, not even a year later, or like 5 months later, I feel bad about it. And not to mention that you guys, this is a fully fundraised channel. The only way I'm able to do this channel is because of you guys. So for all those reasons, it can be very, very difficult to continue to try and tap people for money for my own channel, the LA Fires, and the National Brain Tumor Society. But here I am. So if you cannot support, I totally understand. If you can, please do. It is on my Instagram story right now, or hopefully, I think Matthew Gold's the only mod in here right now. He can put a link in the chat by going to my Instagram and popping it on in here. Okay. Those are the housekeeping that I wanted to do out top. Send in Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer if you want to talk about television. Again, The Last of Us, You, 4 Seasons, Andor, Hacks. Let's check my list really quick to see what else we are working with. American Idol, the Rehearsal, the craziest episode of all time from last week. Haven't seen episode 3 yet. Mobland, Celtic City. Celtic City is the greatest show ever. And I just finished it. And it's the greatest show of all time. It's so good. Handmaid's Tale. And also, Grammy and I are looking for a show to binge right now. She likes mysteries, but I'm debating whether her and I should binge Mad Men because I think she might like it because of the time period. And I've actually I saw the first couple episodes of Mad Men, and for some reason I bailed on it. So I don't know. Should we watch that? What should Grammy and I binge next? We need something fun. All right. Send in that support. There's also just so much stuff happening in the world. On Wednesday, I try to go live on 2 different days a week. I try to go live on Sundays and Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, we kind of do more of a therapy show. We talk about what's going on in your lives, my lives, plus also entertainment industry, business stuff, celebrity, anything that we find interesting. On Sundays, we really focus on television and sometimes a little bit on movies. So if you would like to talk TV with me on Sundays, then keep this channel going. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Send in that support. That is the best way that you can make sure that I keep doing shows on Wednesdays and Sundays. All right, my friends. Here we go. One more time. Everybody feeling fine. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Why am I in a singing mood tonight, guys? Who's to say? Who is to say? But I just am. We're going to start by talking about The Last of Us. So that means if you haven't watched The Last of Us season 2, episode 4, now would be a good time to jet set. When I am done talking about The Last of Us, I'm going to wave my hand frantically. So if you mute it, you'll see me wave my hand frantically. And that is how you'll know we are no longer talking about The Last of Us. Other than that, here are the rules for the chat. You are now allowed to start talking about The Last of Us season 2, episode 4. What you are not allowed to do is be a person who is a gamer or a person who knows what happened in the game and spoil things for the future. So anything that happened for season 2, episode 4, feel free to put it in the chat. Anything that happens after that, do not spoil this for us. Don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't you dare do it. It's you. I'm talking to you. Anytime I say you now, I think about you from the show You, and every time he says you, it's creepy. All right. Here we go. Spoiler alert in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Last of Us season 2, episode 1. Hello, Josh Peck. Hello, Josh Peck. What's up? What's up, Joshua? What's up? When we open with him, this is why I told you guys the other week, I think this show does a really good job of making TV fans not be able to guess what's going on. There's no world in which I think you're about to introduce Josh Peck, especially my age group. Like, I feel like if you are anywhere right now from 21 to 37, You probably think of Josh Peck still as like a relatively, ooh, what's the blurriness? What's the blurriness? Come on, camera. There we go. You probably think of Josh Peck as a relatively like he's a celebrity. I mean, he's a big actor. It's not just because of Drake and Josh, but also he has an amazing podcast that he does, and he pops up on socials all the time. I watch a lot of his clips and episodes. He does a great job. But this be a big actor to absolutely completely annihilate within 2 minutes of him being on screen. So you see him and I think to myself, "Oh my god, I didn't know Josh Peck was cast in this show. I didn't know we were about to get a great new character. I'm so excited." Hell yeah. Boom, 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 bop, bop, boom, bop, bop, dead. Gone. Goner, done. Over. We open with him telling this like wild story about a misunderstanding, somebody thinking a word means that somebody was ejaculating, whatever it was. It was hard for me to honestly, I went back. I like had to rewind for a second because I was like, wait, hold on. I was so distracted by the fact that I'm looking at Josh Peck for a second that I forgot to listen to the story in case this is relevant. The story ends up actually not being fully relevant, except for the fact that this one dude is like, why do we call them voters? Which I love when shows do this because as an audience member, I'm sitting here like, why do you guys call them voters? So thank you for the exposition baked into the dialogue so that I can understand why you call them voters. Very quickly, we then get Jeffrey Wright, who I'm like, oh, we've got Josh Peck and Jeffrey Wright. This is so fun. Hell yeah, to the casting team. Jeffrey Wright is like, because we took away their right to vote. So it's actually not for a good reason. And it's to mock them. So, when people took away their right to vote, that was kind of fucked. And Josh Peck immediately is like, sorry, I didn't mean to, Sarge. My bad. So I'm feeling this tension. I'm writing a story in my head. I'm like, oh, okay. So Josh Peck clearly respects Jeffrey Wright's character. Clearly, what's his name? Isaac. He clearly respects his character. He clearly is sitting here thinking like, ooh, I don't want to piss him off. Or even if he doesn't respect him, he respects the fact that he is clearly his elder. He is clearly in a position of authority. And he kind of backs off pretty quick, as opposed to when he's talking to the rest of the guys where he feels all macho and whatever it is. So we're sitting there and I'm thinking, wow, the rest of the season, it's going to be an interesting dynamic between these two. I wonder if we are going to see Jeffrey Wright and Josh Peck have to be able to work together. I wonder if Josh Peck is going to be so pissed at Jeffrey Wright for always correcting him that he's going to turn on him. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be a long arc, long journey. Can't wait for it. And then he was dead. And like 30 seconds later, he's dead. And I was like, do I even watch television? What good are these 120 shows a year that I watch if not for the fact that I can't guess a single thing that's happening on this show? I think it's also really cool because this is a video game adaptation that in the video game, this isn't a big actor. So it's really cool that Josh Peck wanted to do this role and was like, yeah, I'm sure he was like, The Last of Us is cool. Put me in, coach. And also it was a little more gritty and something for him to kind of chew on. I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Peck books things from just this one appearance. He did a good job. That was exciting. Jeffrey Wright also did an excellent job, obviously, in this episode. We'll talk a little bit more about him. But don't forget, if you guys have thoughts on this, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Give me your thoughts on The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 4. I want to ask you guys this question for this episode, but just The Last of Us in general right now. Are you back in on the show post-Joel death? Or are you still dragging your feet watching the show? Or were you never dragging your feet watching the show? How are you feeling about The Last of Us overall? Send in Streamlabs and super chats. Okay, let's continue. So when Jeffrey Wright pulls that one dude, I was sitting there thinking, like, what is that about? I'm curious what ends up happening with that dude. Like, how big of a character is he going to be on, or how big of a moment is that going to end up being? Just kind of started to think, like, all right, that it's relevant. It's got to be relevant. Then we're talking with this woman. Her name was Hanrahan. I was like, did they say hand to hand? And then I put on captions, Hanrahan. I know this actress. I don't remember her name right now, but she is in Euphoria and has been in other shows, and she's very good. Hanrahan, here she comes to save the day. Hanrahan is on the way. Everything on the show makes me think about like how gray things are, because in this moment you're wondering, is Hanrahan the good guy, and is Jeffrey Wright the good guy for killing those douchebags that were in the vehicle? Like, is FEDRA worse than the wolves? And then later on, you're like, are the wolves worse than the scars? Or does the order go FEDRA's the worst, then the scars, and then the wolves? Or what is the order? Because everybody thinks they're being the good guy. Meanwhile, in this episode alone, we're throwing grenades into tanks, which, oops. We are hanging people from the rafters, from the ceilings. We are beating people with hot pans that are expensive pans. So who be the good guys? Because we know them to be Dina and Ellie. But also, Dina and Ellie are on a mission to murder people. So what is the ranking of psychos here? Hanrahan says, welcome to the fight. Jeffrey Wright immediately turns to homeboy, make your choice. That was an interesting moment. Okay. Immediately when we see Dina in the store, immediately after the monostat, I start putting together the pieces. I'm like, oh, she puked the other day. Homegirl is definitely pregnant. For sure, she's pregnant. I don't think at this point there's probably many Connies left. Certainly, I'm not seeing people going to the pharmacy getting birth control. So for sure, Jesse and Dina be bumping uglies unprotected. That would be my guess. Even if there were Connies left, are they any good at this point? Likely no. So immediately I'm like, this girl's got to be pregnant. Oh my God, that's a nightmare. That's a nightmare. I think a lot of my friends, and you guys tell me how you guys feel, a lot of my friends right now don't want to get pregnant in this country during this time. Imagine being pregnant during this. And like, Loki later on, it feels like she's happy about it. And I understand that reaction, but also, oh my God, that's the scariest, worst. Like, I don't know how you're strong enough for that, because that is so overwhelming. Let's go to Jeffrey Wright beating the crap out of a scar. What do they call themselves? The Sophists? Sophists? I call them the hammer scars. Scar hammers, hammer scars. Jeffrey Wright, we're like, who's homeboy talking to? He's got this pan. He's heating it up. You obviously know he's torturing somebody. It did make me also kind of step back and think to myself, it is interesting how many things we think matter right now, but if shit ever really hit the fan, they wouldn't matter at all. Like, having expensive pans right now would be something I would love to have. I have old, shitty pans, and I cook a lot, and every day cleaning them is so difficult. They don't have the most even burn. It drives me nuts, and I'm somebody who cooks like at least 7 times a week. I mean, I cook all the time. My pans suck. They suck. They're super old. They're 10 years old, and they're not good. And I need more pans, but they're very expensive. And I think about it all the time. Like, whenever I see nice pans, or people are advertising pans on TikTok, or you walk by Williams Sonoma and you're like, oh my God, those pans. And they're so expensive. I think to myself, like, oh, I want those pans. You want to know why, when I wouldn't give a shit about those pans? If we were in the middle of an apocalypse. Like, it's just so funny. Like, do your dreams even matter when shit hits the fan? Do they? So that made me kind of giggle about all of our things that we think are our dreams and hopes, and then really all that matters in life is shelter, health, loved ones. It's like the rest of it, who cares? This was a crazy torture scene. This is a crazy torture scene. And when homeboy Scarhammer, what did you guys tell me they're called? Seraphites? Seraphites. Is like, puts his hand out. It's basically like, you think I'm going to tell you, dog? Like, what? How are you like that? What? Torched. That was fucked up. Both of them are fucked up. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I think that homeboy Seraphite is Scar Hammer bad. But I feel like the wolves are so bad too. And this torture scene is woo boy. I also think this is really cool. I've seen Jeffrey Wright in a lot of stuff, but I don't think I've seen him in a role like this. The last time I saw him in a very intense role was probably for Westworld, but it was different than this. Intense in a different way. What do you guys think? What's your favorite Jeffrey Wright performance? Send them in. All right, I'm going to keep breaking down the episode, but I'm going to go to the Streamlabs first. Let's pop over here, streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer. If you want me to continue doing a Sunday show where I talk about television, please send in the Streamlabs. Let me know what shows you want me to talk about, what shows you watched this week. Are you still liking The Last of Us, or have you given up on it? Send in support. Shane, as the first, may the 4th be with you, support of the day. Thank you so much to Shane. I appreciate that. Shane didn't say anything. He just sent support. When I was growing up, I used to say Shane. I thought was my favorite name. I loved that name. I still really like that name. And I like that movie. RQMDSMD in the house. Yes. My wife picked up on Dina being pregnant last week when she got sick and said, I'd never done that before. Yeah. I mean, it kind of was like a little buzzing in my head when she did that, but I was like, oh, maybe it was because the smell was so strong with the bodies. But then when we see the monostat and then we see her look at something, I was like, oh, snap, girl. But your wife picked up on that early. Good on her. Astute observation. Mike Joyce in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer said, I think Grammy would like Poker Face. It's a fun mystery of the week show. Season 1 is already out and season 2 is airing soon. Maybe True Blood also. It's a silly, sexy vampire soap opera from what I've seen so far. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Grammy doesn't like supernatural shows. So that's not for her. Poker Face, I obviously watched season 1. I talked about it on Live at the Roxy every week. I liked Poker Face a lot. I think she would like Poker Face. I wonder, it's not good for us to watch it together because I already saw season 1, but I actually think that she would like that, and I'm going to try to turn her on to it. The problem is she doesn't have Peacock. And I already borrow somebody's login, so I can't give it to her. I'll try to figure out how I could get her to watch that. Gots to do some brain thinking. Shane in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer sent in support again. Again, no message, just sending in that support. I appreciate that, my dude. Thank you for doing that. And thank you for being here to everybody who is, as we're talking about television from this week. Right now, we're talking about The Last of Us. We are in full spoilers, so just be warned for anybody who is currently in the chat and watching this live. All right. Here we go. Torture scene was brutal, both vicious. Yep. Feel her love. The whole feel her love and them talking about this prophet, and some of you understand she was just a person, is what Jeffrey Wright says. I'm so curious what this storyline is. Sup with this prophet. We heard the Scarhammers, Seraphites talk about this a little bit with the little girl before they were all axed. Feel her love. We've seen that symbol. What's up? Some of you guys knew she was just a person. Interesting. It's just world building stuff that makes me kind of curious about how things come to be. Really funny when Dina starts seeing things and she's like, what the fuck is wrong with Seattle? As somebody who loves Seattle, that was a hysterical line. I would be shocked if that doesn't get gifted out and posted all the time. Like if you're playing Seattle sports or if it's raining in Seattle or something's happening in Seattle, come on. Dina saying, what the fuck is wrong with Seattle? That has to be part of it. Steven, where's the Hammer Park man? What? They're all carrying hammers when they were walking. He had a hammer and the little girl's like, can I have a hammer too? And he was like, you can have my hammer. Come on, Steven. You know those hammer scars? They all were carrying hammers. I didn't just start to say like, oh, they're the hammers. No, on account of the fact that they were carrying hammers. That's where it came from. All right. Amazing. The transit tunnel. No, I have to actually step back. We have to talk about them finding those bodies. So I was watching the after show where they talk about kind of what the behind the scenes of filmmaking. So when Dina and Ellie walk in and find the wolves hanging, you guys, did you watch the after show? I just figured this was done with computer generated images, or they green screen something. Y'all, they had stunt actors hanging. Those were real people hanging. What the actual fuck? And the way that would be able to, I mean, unbelievable performances from Bella and Isabela, who I believe just goes by Izzy. Unbelievable performances. And no fucking wonder you walk into a room and you see a bunch of people hanging. What? That was crazy town, USA. I mean, that's really, really crazy. That was one of the most nerve-wracking sequences because we're all just sitting there, if you haven't played the game, thinking like, how the hell are we going to get out of this? How are we getting out of this? And right when we think we get out of this, we go into the transit tunnel. And nothing good. If you have watched any apocalypse show ever, nothing good ever happens in the tunnels. Or if you just saw what happened in Penguin, nothing happens good underground. Underground be bad. If you have to crawl into a hole to get to the place, no. That sequence was amazing. The action scene actually on the train was unbelievable. The consequences of this are going to be grave. And it was just so well done. And then I'm sitting there as they're trying to escape, and Ellie puts her arm in front of Dina, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, how the fuck is this bitch going to explain this? Because how's she going to do this? And also start talking immediately. But instead, this was the part that I was like, I wonder how they pulled this off in the game. Instead, what happens is they leave. Dina's clearly freaked. They go find where they're going to. And then Ellie's still not talking. And I'm like, God damn it, Ellie. Start explaining yourself. You need to start talking. Like, you saw that she just saw what you did. Why aren't you speaking right now? Use your words and start explaining, or you are fucked. And it's just taking so goddamn long for Ellie to say anything. And it feels like she wasn't even going to say anything, like Dina was stupid. And it's like, what? And I really think what it is that this isn't the first time she's been bit. So she like did it instinctually and then kind of like forgot she even did it, because it's like, for her, I'm not saying it feels like a mosquito bite, but for her, it's like adrenaline's high. She gets bit and she's like, come on, let's go. And she forgets that other people don't know that she is the only immune one. So that was a wild sequence. Wild. So Dina obviously has a gun on her. Thank God she didn't shoot her. Imagine. And at this point, what this show has done so brilliantly again is that at this point, I wouldn't put it past this show. Like, imagine if in this episode they walk in, Ellie's not explaining, Dina goes, don't make this harder than it needs to be. Ellie's like, please don't. And Dina kills her. That feels very in line for The Last of Us. That wouldn't have even been shocking at this point. That would have been like, well, yeah, this show be killing people left and right. So, makes sense. But instead, luckily, that isn't what happened. Smart plan by Ellie. She does start talking. One of the sexiest lines I've ever heard. I would die for you. I would, but that is not what just happened. Whew! And here I'm sitting thinking like, God, I am screwed now because I so desperately want them to be together. But I don't know if the show's going to give me that. But then we get the I'm pregnant and the kiss. And I'm sitting here like, please don't let these be pregnancy hormones. From my friends who have been pregnant, they tell me you get like loaded up horny when you're pregnant a lot of times and just overwhelmingly passionate. I'm sitting here praying that isn't what was happening. Just thinking, please, please, please. But then we actually get conversations about it. And I'm starting to feel like this is actually going to be a love story between Ellie and Dina. And that is making me incredibly nervous because what are the chances that we get a happy ending on The Last of Us? I would say they are 0. I would put it at legitimately 0. That the way that after the 3rd season, which is going to cover the 2nd game, this season and that season cover the 2nd game, the way that this ends is happily ever after with Ellie and Dina and their baby and Jesse. I think that's 0%. I'm going to put that at 0%. So now I'm starting to panic because you guys have now introduced a love story that I am not willing to lose. And if it hurt to lose Joel, what's it going to do for us to lose Dina and baby or Ellie? Because I just don't know. I just don't know what is capable of. I liked the question Ellie asked, why now? And the next day, and it does make perfect sense why now. She almost lost Ellie. She was picturing this life. She says, I don't even know if you want that. And Ellie says, I want it with you. Every line Ellie says is so sexy. I don't understand. Maybe it's because I didn't play the game, but she's getting, I guess the character and the actor is getting a lot of heat for this role. And I'm like, what? I think that Bella is annihilating this. I think that they are coming across like, I am young and in love and in the apocalypse and I am the cure. And there is a lot of emotions and a lot of stuff going on. And I'm also badass. And I'm also madly in love. And finally, this person likes me back. Like, that's what we're getting. So I know by comparison to the game, people are thinking that Bella isn't crushing, but I have nothing to compare Ellie to. And for me, I'm like, holy shit, I'm obsessed with this character. Don't even get me started on Izzy. Dina and Ellie together are like the hottest young couple. I just think it's perfect, perfect, perfect. One thing I'm curious about, though, Dina kind of reveals her story. I told my mom I like boys and I like girls, and my mom said, "No, you like boys." So even though she was with Jesse, I don't think that I think she's bi. I think that's what she's telling us. She likes girls and boys. But Jesse just wasn't the one. I like that she said that Jesse's a good guy because I'm in love with Jesse, and I like that now Dina is not with Jesse because it does clear the deck for me to be with Jesse. Delulu. Possibly. Potentially. Maybe not. I love Jesse. I love Jesse. I love Jesse. Okay, but this is the part. When Ellie says, holy shit, I'm going to be a dad. Why didn't she say, holy shit, I'm going to be a mom? Is Ellie, because we know that Bella Ramsey is non-binary, but my understanding was that Ellie is a girl. Is that right? Was it a joke? Or just like, anyway. Just thought it was kind of an interesting, why'd you say it like that? Streamlabs.com/RoxyStrider, super chat in, give me your thoughts on The Last of Us and any other television from this week, as we will be talking about that coming up soon. In the Streamlabs, Handsome Ransom says, aloha, Handsome Ransom, you are the best. Just sending some good old-fashioned amore, das amore, and support per usual. You make the world a better place every day, Roxy. Never forget that. That's so sweet. Thanks for keeping it gangsta and being sucker-free every Sunday. Much love. Long live the hashtag Striderverse. Woo! Thanks, Handsome Ransom. You rock. Shout out to Handsome Ransom, Shane, Mike Joyce, RQMD, SMD being our Streamlabsers of the day so far. Send in support over there if you want to see me continue to do Sunday show. Give me your thoughts on The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 4. Did you watch 4 seasons? That's the Tina Fey show with Steve Carell and a bunch of other people. The You finale, Andor's Episode 4, 5, and 6. We haven't talked about Andor on the show since Episode 1, 2, and 3. So what are your thoughts on that? Plus hacks and a million other things that we have watched. Let us know in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. I'm still on The Last of Us right now. I will frantically wave both my hands when we are done, so don't worry. People will be able to come back then. We are almost done, though. So, yeah, I'm nervous. The reason I put on the thumbnail for tonight's episode was, am I about to have my heart broken again? Is because... am I? Are we all? Like, is my heart about to break again? This is the question. This is the question. It feels like the answer has to be yes, because if we lose, let's go through the list of characters we could lose by the end of the show. If we lose Ellie in the Abby-Ellie showdown, I'm devastated. If we lose Dina, I'm devastated. If we lose the baby, it means we probably lost Dina, so devastated. Jesse, I am in love with, devastated. Tommy is our new Joel, devastated. Maria, Tommy needs Maria. Maria needs Tommy, devastated. What are the chances we're all making it out? It's got to be none. And now there's this love story, and you guys know I'm a lover of love, shipper of ships. And it's just not going to be good for your girl. Are you guys liking them together as much as I am, or no? The only person we could lose where I'm not going to be upset is Abby and the rest of them. We could lose all the wolves and all the scars. We can lose Jeffrey Wright and Abby and friends. We could lose every single one of them. And how I will feel is good riddance. But if we lose another one of our people, we're fucked. Especially if it's Dina. And it's giving Dina's going to die. I don't think soon. But I don't see her making it out of this. And I don't see her giving birth to this baby. And I don't see her riding off into the sunset with Ellie and Jesse and baby. Ugh. All right. Well, those are my thoughts. And I'm going to move on to some other shows. So I'm going to wave my hands now. And if you guys have more thoughts, don't forget to send them in the Streamlabs, in the super chat. Keep supporting the show. It's the only way I'm able to come back here every week. Appreciate you guys. Again, Handsome Ransom, Shane, Mike Joyce, and RQMD, SMD. Plus everybody for watching here at live. All right, here we go. Here's the shake. Shake, shake, shake. Do. Shake, shake, shake. Spoilers over for The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 4. Shake, shake, shake. Do. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Now, everybody write things in the chat that are not related, so anybody who's coming back in doesn't see any of the spoiler stuff. Like, clear through. Everybody type things. Banana, apples, strawberries, anything along those lines. Okay, so I guess we could talk about Andor. It is Star Wars Day. I feel so bad. Okay, let's start with what I like about Andor. I'm obsessed with you guys. All clear, things, potatoes, potato. Hell yeah. Some potato. Potato, potato. Potato, potato. Here we know. All right. Bix is dope. Bix be struggling. And I love Bix. Cassian's dope. Cassian be struggling. And I love Cassian. Anytime we have scenes with Bix and Cassian, I love the show. Anytime we leave Bix and Cassian, I am confused and not invested. And that's where I'm at. I'm so confused on some things. Like the Forrest Whitaker crew thing, I don't understand at all. How many rebel groups are there that we're following? Because it feels like a million. Feels like everybody is a spy. And everybody is in a different rebel group and the rebels don't like each other. And everybody has different wigs for different moments or different coat that makes them a different person. Like, how many characters on the show are spies or are two-timing, right? Like Mon Mothma, Stellan Skarsgård, Cassian, at times Bix, the father of the other girl, the redheaded girl, seemingly the dude that was with Forrest Whitaker's crew, like all these people. I didn't even realize that guy that was part of Forrest Whitaker's crew was the same dude from Bix's crew who ran to go get that punani. Steph had to tell me that. I was like, what? He looked like a completely different person. I just can't follow the fucking story. And I'm watching with captions and I'm pausing to Google locations and people. And 4, 5, and 6 is better than 1, 2, and 3. I will not say it's not. And I like it. And when it's Bix and Andor, I love it. There was a cool like moment with, I don't know who either of these people are, but one of them is a spy pretending to be like an Imperial dude, and one of them is a spy woman pretending to be something else too. And they're showing the artifacts, and she's trying to get a listening device out of it. And you're not sure whether she's going to get it or not. And tension's building, and people are looking at her, and Stellan Skarsgård's looking at her, and Mon Mothma, homegirl's looking at her. And I was like, I get why this is interesting. But I wish I was with Bix. And then we end 6, and Bix be doing Bix shit. And I was so interested in that. And I was like, why didn't we spend the episode with her? Why couldn't we spend the episode watching Bix be badass Bix? Why did I have to only see her for like 2 fucking seconds? So I'm guessing 7 and 8 and 9 are going to really 7, 8, and 9 are going to really focus on Cassian and Bix. And if they do, I'm very likely going to be very happy. Why am I just not as obsessed with this show as other people? I really expected 4, 5, and 6 to be like gangbusters for me. But now we are halfway through the show, and I still just like it. And people are out there saying it's the best show of all time. DJ is obsessed with this show. Christian is obsessed with the show. Steph is obsessed with the show. And I am so confused. What was the deal with the relationship with the redheaded girl and the other girl? I can't tell. So they're part of another rebel group. And then the other girl just ends up getting fucking shot randomly. I was like, what? How did that even just happen? Why did it? What? And then she gave a good speech afterwards. She's like, it's going to live with you forever. And I was like, who are you guys? And then DJ was like, what? That redhead is the lead character of the show. And I was like, well, she's not made an impact on me. I don't know what to say. I feel like the dumbest shit alive when I'm watching this show. And that is so crazy to me because you can't tell me that this show is actually more complicated than The Last of Us or Severance or Silo or any of the shows that I perfectly understand. Why is this show so difficult to get plot-wise? And I'm not on my phone. I'm not dicking around. I'm not doing anything. I'm just like what? Leonard Kim, that awkward moment when I don't even know who or what you're talking about. I don't remember any of this. That's how I feel when I watch the show too, Leonard. People are talking about it and I'm like, am I watching? Like, is Disney Plus playing a major trick on me where I'm watching a different show than the rest of you guys are? Because I can't follow this. I can't say it's not good, but boy, do I not get some of it. Ride or die, Bix and Cassian. And everybody else, who are you and what are you doing? The spider stuff. I asked Steph. So there's this like blonde girl who's a couple with this other dude. And the other dude was giving me good guy vibes because I feel like he's going to turn to be with the rebels. Steph's like, what are you talking about? He's like horrifically evil murderer. I was like, when? Says who? She's like, all last season. I was like, aha. Aha. I'm like, the blondie girl is kind of funny too. And then is the mom and the blonde girl don't get along. And I'm like, wait, what's that about? What's up with that? They're all kind of funny to me. And I was like, maybe these are the good guys. And I guess they're not. And him, I just thought that the rebels had a good read on it because they're like, no, he's gonna be with us. And I'm like, yeah, I could see that. But that's, I guess, not what's happening. So I have no grip on this show. I mean, like, no grip. Let me know what you guys think about Andor. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. What TV shows are you watching this week? What was the best show of the week? What was the worst show of the week? What are the shows that you want me to be covering next week? And what show should I binge with Grammy? Right now we've got Poker Face as a contender and Mad Men. Let me know. RQMDSMD in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says Andor is still good, but not great. It's so subjective because people who think it's great, there's so many of them. It's the vast majority of people who think this is great. So it's not like everybody's wrong. It's just you and I maybe don't feel the same way that they do. Mike Joyce in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, if you had to choose between Twilight and The Prestige to watch, which would you choose? Personally, I would vote for Twilight. If you know, you know. That's such an interesting question. Why are you comparing these two movies? I love The Prestige. But Twilight has like how many movies? 5 movies or something. And Prestige is only 1. That's a whole franchise. And they're completely different moods. The Prestige is like a serious big drama. Twilight is not. I would watch them both happily. That's how I would do it. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Shout out to Mike Joyce, RQMDSMD, Handsome Ransom, Shane, and everybody in the chat right now for being here live at this nighttime hour. We're talking television. If you want me to continue doing the show on Sundays, send in that support. All right. Is anybody watching the show 4 seasons? I have 20 minutes of the final episode left. This show started a little slow for me. This is the show that is Tina Fey's new show. It is with Steve Carell and all actors that you will recognize and know. It is like an absolutely star-studded cast, but I think that Tina Fey is the one who wrote and produced it. I'll check that right now. It's got Will Forte. It's got Coleman Domingo. It's got, I think I said Steve Carell. And let's see right now who wrote it, who produced it. Because I watched it because it's just, the EP is Tina Fey. And I would watch pretty much anything she did and was super curious about this. It was on my Netflix and I was like, all right, let me just check it out. And it starts as a little bit show. And did I say show or slow? Meant to say it's a little bit slow. But I was like, oh, this is easy to watch. You can kind of just binge through it. And it's about these friends, this group of friends. There's 6 of them. And they're all, the 4 seasons, it sounds like it's a show that's like White Lotus, but it's not. 4 seasons is like seasons of time. It's not the 4 seasons, the resort. And we follow these couples through different trips that they go on together. And the first couple episodes, I was like, oh, this is good and easy to watch. Then kind of some big shifts and changes happen. And I was like, oh, I wonder what this show is trying to say. we deal with a lot of love and loss and a lot of different things on the show. And now I still have 20 minutes left, so I'm not sure, but I actually think that this show is really good. And they did a great job with it. I'm curious how I feel about the last 20 minutes. I'll update you guys next week. So I figured I'd talk about it now so you guys can watch it if you want to talk to me about it next week. But it was so quick. It's only 8 episodes. They're half hour each. So it's very, very easy watch. The performers are great. The episodes are hysterical, even when they're sad, because it is a little sad, but it's also funny. On IMDb, it's listed as a feel-good romance. I don't know that I would call it that. It definitely is not feel-good romance. It's romance and it's comedy. It also makes you question all different relationship types and what your relationship type is. But I'm curious how people are feeling about this because I haven't heard anyone talking about it. No one. And that's kind of strange because of the star-studded cast that I said. So let me know, are any of you guys in the chat watching 4 seasons? And if so, how do you guys feel about it? Or the 4 seasons? Curious case of Benjamin Button. The You finale. He got, spoilers, he got his. This was kind of fun to watch because I actually auditioned for a role in this season. I won't tell you guys which one because that's like kind of taboo to do as an actor, but I auditioned for a role in the show and it was really fun to watch the actress who got the role, who was so good and did such a great job and just had a completely different interpretation of the character than I did. And it was a lot of fun to kind of just see that. But in general, I like this season a lot. And I think that it was a really, really well done ending. I also wonder what this show was trying to say. I think it's trying to say, don't be out here murdering people. I'm really glad that we didn't end it with our Joe like having a great life because he is a psycho killer. So I was really glad that we didn't end it that way because that would not have been satisfying. But I know that some people aren't happy with it because they are Team Joe, which is crazy. That's crazy and definitely not what the show was trying to say. I agree. I loved Anna Camp. She was so great. She was so great. Yeah. Anyway, Super Chat in, Streamlabs in. Thank you so much, Gold Standard, who says, Roxy, which is your favorite season of You? Mine is the 2nd season, but the 5th season has been very good. It's so hard for me to remember which seasons. What was the season that it moved over to Netflix? Because that's when I started watching it. So that's why it's hard for me to remember which season which, because I binged a couple in a row. I did think this season was very good, though, and tied a lot of stuff together. And they went back and showed us so many different characters that we haven't seen in a long time. This show is more popular than I would have expected it to be. And part of me thinks that is because people just love Penn Badgley. And I'm one of them. I'm people. He's so talented. He's so charismatic. He's so interesting to watch on screen. They got great guest stars. I'm into it. In the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, Handsome Ransom says, if you were stuck in the Last of Us world, which characters from Friends would you want in your survival group? Phoebe. Phoebe is the ultimate survival. We know Phoebe lived on the street. We know that Phoebe has had to overcome a lot of loss, a lot of death. She is the ultimate survivor. And then after Phoebe, I would probably say Monica, because she is kind of quick on her toes with things, problem solver. Ross might be good about, like, because he is a paleontologist, so he might be able to be helpful with, like, the history of it all and what things could possibly be. I think that Chandler, Joey, and Rachel would all be horrible. And they would all be dead so fast. Because Chandler cannot shut up. And you would have to. Rachel just could not survive here. And Joey would be like trying to hook up with people and just not focused. Let's see. Gold Standard said, OMG, I just checked. You didn't start on Netflix. You are correct. I started watching it in season 2. Mm-hmm. But they brought over season 1 to Netflix, but it was, I must have watched, because I think it was on Lifetime, right? But I watched 1 and 2 at once. So that was probably my favorite, but it was, I don't know, 1 from 2 as much. You're shocked. Interesting. Okay, so we've talked about The Last of Us. We talked about the 4 seasons. We talked about the U finale, Andor episode 4, 5, and 6. Sorry, I couldn't give you more on that. Hacks is still excellent. I loved watching this week's episode. I think that the dinner scene where Jean Smart's character finds Hannah's character within her throuple was hysterical. But then it was so sad. And I'm loving watching this season. I love watching the making of a late night show and how you do it. And the Kristen Bell being on the episode was hysterical. It's really fun and fresh. And I feel like we haven't gotten something like this on this show before. And Hacks is constantly reinventing itself. And it's why it is one of the best comedies on. No season is the same as the other. They do new challenges. They try new things. I see you guys in the chat talking about this vote or a poll. What's the vote? What's the poll? Who said a vote? Who said a poll? What's it for? Y'all tell me. Let me in on it. I want to be on the inside. What y'all talking about? What you talking about, Wills? Let me know. I also wanted to briefly touch on American Idol because you guys know I've been watching the season, and I have to say that why are you guys talking about Dorina's Discord poll on here right now? It's really odd of you. Love D, but like, what does that have to do with television or my show or anything to do with what we're doing right now? You guys are fucking weird. And distracting me. I can't focus on the very important topic of American Idol. It's very important that I tell you guys about this. Very important. Wildly important that we discuss American Idol. America. I just wanted to mention on American Idol because I feel like I shit on the faith-based episode, but I am so impressed by how much talent people have that it is scary. Do you guys ever watch a competition show and you sit here and you think like, wow, there's so many people who are so talented, it is scary. And that it has to be a certain amount of luck, opportunity, timing, all the things, because why are some singers famous and some are not? And it can't just be because the best in the world make it. Because some of the voices on American Idol when I'm watching, it's like these are the greatest voices I've ever heard. And we will only in 10 years know 1 or 2 of them. And that's crazy. That's crazy. So just my thoughts on that show. Loving the studio. Love, love, love. Thought it was a little bit odd this episode, but still love the show. What does the studio air? What day does Apple do its shows? We know HBO's got the Sunday market. What is Apple? What's their jam? And Shark Tank always. Shark Tank for life. The way I've become completely obsessed with that show is crazy. Let me see what else I watched this week before I let you guys go. Send in final Streamlabs. Let me know what you're watching, what your Grammy and I watch, etc., etc., etc. Celtic City, greatest finale, greatest show. I'm just, please, Celtics, bring home number 19. Let's go. Ooh. I'm playing with an earring and I almost dropped it on the floor. It would have been impossible to find. The rehearsal I will watch immediately because isn't that tonight? It's a Sunday night, right? I think that's Sundays. So we'll talk about that next week, or I'll briefly touch on it on Wednesday. And Handmaid's Tale. Guys, I need Handmaid's Tale to open up their eyes and realize I have earned, and anybody who's stuck with it this long has earned something good to happen. Holy shit, I'm so tired of this. I love the show. It's a brilliant show. Can you please let me have a little victory? Like even on The Last of Us, right? While there's bad stuff, messed up stuff happening, at least we get moments where there's love and light. On Handmaid's Tale, god damn it, bro. It's torturing me. They're torturing me. Everything they do is like bad, worse, horrible, couldn't, like, don't think it could get worse, does get worse. Give me a victory. We're in the final season. Please. No, I haven't read Handmaid's Tale, so I don't know if we get any victories, but please, I need it. Streamhouse.com/RoxyStrider, RQMDSMD, sending that support. Thank you so much. RQMDSMD, bringing down the house tonight between supporting National Brain Tumor Society, sending money in for the 5K that I'm doing, and sending in Streamlabs here. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, can I have a win from Handmaid's Tale, please? Please. And those are the shows I'm watching. So that's it for tonight. Let's get on out of here. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat. But a special shout out to RQMDSMD, Handsome Ransom, Mike Joyce, Shane, and to our super chatter Gold Standard. You guys are the reason that I'm able to continue doing the show on Sundays and Wednesdays. So let's hope I can continuing to do the show. Thank you for being here with me. And I appreciate you all very much. And thanks for talking about The Last of Us and the 4 seasons and you and Andor and Hacks and all the stuff. Next week, we'll still be talking about Andor. We'll be talking more about The Last of Us. We will be talking more about all the shows that I mentioned here, plus however the 4 seasons ends and anything else that I watched this week. And if you guys leave in the comments what you're watching, I'll check out what you guys are watching and see if I can catch an episode or so with anything that you're doing. All right. Stay safe, stay sane. Put down the toilet seat and lid. We don't want those flumes. Don't try them with the Holocaust. Justice for all the people who've lost their lives due to excessive force. All of them. My body, my choice. Wherever in the rainbow, we love you. We stand with the women of Iran, some of the bravest women we've ever seen. Golden sparkles for the Zen one himself. And happy Sunday, y'all. Like I say, stay safe out there because oh boy. And I will see you on Wednesday for the next live at the Roxy. All right, later.